really interesting thing the other day about caveman brain, and it's a way to think about the limbic system stuff that we've been talking about a lot. The reason why I'm throwing it out is because and I don't know if other people are familiar with this description of the limbic system in the context of the caveman brain. The thing about it, though, that struck me when I heard about it, although it really walks through a really cool kind of way, caveman brain comes up and makes you think that you're in danger and all that stuff that we've talked about. The thing about the caveman brain description, though, that I was kind of struggling with is that ultimately our limbic system is a really useful kind of part of who we are. It's evolved in a way that's really kind of useful. And really, the caveman brain description, from my perspective, what it undermines is the fact that what makes our situation tough in the context of a limbic system right now is not that that part of our brain is so old. It's that the way that we are supposed to live doesn't really jive with how we're actually living. And that, for example, my limbic system can be engaged when I think about the fact that, I my taxes are due, or the mortgage is due, or something like that, where ultimately the mortgage being due cannot kill me. In other words, that mortgage due, it's funny because that's actually, I'm psyched that I actually use that example. It's a great example because where is the mortgage due? Where's that thing? There is no thing. It's never a thing. It's an obligation. It's a responsibility. It's an action. It's a thing that I do to pay that, but it's not even ever a real thing. It's a conception. It's a notion. It's an idea that's part of how you might walk through your day, whether it's paying for the groceries or paying for the gasoline or paying for your rent or these payment things. They're never anywhere. And so the idea that any one of those things could literally threaten your safety or security is crazy. And I say crazy in a way that that distinguishes it from what's consistent with kind of how we're I don't know how we might live. It lives outside of that context of how we might live in a way where these things, although it's not to suggest that paying for things isn't a possible way to live. It's the stress and worry and anxiety that gets linked to that then gets transformed into a life-threatening thing, which then evokes this limbic system response. So you see, that's the sequence that becomes problematic. It's not that we have a limbic system. It's not that we have this way in our bodies of protecting ourselves. Those aren't bad things. And when if you're, I don't know, if you're in a situation where something in your house is on fire and you have to respond to that, your limbic system is a really, really, really helpful response to that in that moment, because it limits, you're not going to be thinking about things in a way that would take more time. You're going to be responding to it in a way that's ultimately going to get the job done and hopefully keep your house from burning down. So in that way, it's a really great thing. But that is a threat. Something in your kitchen that you're standing in front of that's on fire, in some degrees, depending on what it is, obviously could actually be a real life-threatening, perilous thing, as opposed to having to pay your rent. Not perilous, cannot kill you, and so it's that linkage that becomes a problem. So that's the issue that I have with the caveman brain. It's an interesting, useful way to think about limbic stuff in some ways, but can get in the way of that really, really important piece about culture. The reason why that's so important is because there is nothing about this notion of property owning, paying rent, not owning property, but that's not written on a tree somewhere. This is a choice that we've made. It's a way that these are a sequence of choices that we've made to come to this place as we are as a culture. And I'm not evaluating it one way or the other. I'm just saying that it is a thing that is inherently in many ways optional, in terms of whether or not we want to live that way. So if it's an optional thing in terms of how it's like the color of your car, it's an optional thing, can be altered into something else, then it shouldn't be linked to our limbic system as something that can create serious, serious health issues. And as is right now for many, many people. So anyway, something to think about. That's Knowledge Saturday for you. I'll be back tomorrow with Back to Basics Sunday. I hope everybody's having a great day. It's a gorgeous day here in northeastern United States. And I hope it is something there that either is or will become something that you find useful and enriching to your life. Have a great day. I will talk to you tomorrow.